Now these rounded rectangle shapes, or these pillowed rectangle shapes, are really popular in industrial design. They get built all the time. And we've actually covered this at some length on CAD Junkie in the past, and we're going to do that more in the future. But actually, through all the trial and error and all of the research that I've done, I've actually come to the conclusion that there is a best way to do this, okay? And I'm going to go so far as to call it the correct way in SolidWorks, because there are lots of ways to do it, but there's only one way that gets really consistently great results. And then I'm actually going to show you other ways as well. But let's start with what I call the right way. Now, an important caveat here, actually, though, the right way, or the best way, can only be done in SolidWorks 2013. So if you're using SolidWorks 2012 or earlier, I want you to watch this video so that you know what's available to you in 2013. And then in the next video, I'm going to show you how you would do it if you're using an older version of SolidWorks. Okay? So let's head up here to, first of all, we'll go to my front plane and create a brand new sketch. And fortunately, we have these sketches here that already define our dimensions for us, so we don't need to know what those dimensions are. I can just go up here to my ellipse tool and drop down and grab the new SolidWorks 2013 Conic tool. Should have been there forever, but no, they only just gave it to us in 2013. I'm going to click one end. I'll click the other end. I'll click the middle, or the target, the apex of this thing, and then finally define a row value just by kind of dragging around to where I think it looks right. Okay? Now let's double check that everything is snapped into place. It looks like this is actually still floating around, so let's make sure that it's coincident where it needs to be, so nothing moves around. And then we'll grab our Smart Dimension tool, click the curve, and we can define a numeric row value. Now, for conic curves, a row value of 0.5 is going to be really, really loose, really, really soft. And 0.9 would be really, really sharp, really tight. So I'm going to set this to 0.6. So it's nice and loose, and then exit my sketch. And we're done with that. Now, since we're doing this for 2013ers, let's just go ahead and do this for all the others. I'm going to go to the top plane and create another conic surface, or another conic curve, I should say, from here to here, to here, and finally define a row value. And the row value doesn't need to be numeric in that case. And we'll go to the right plane, create a sketch, and create one more conic. And we're going to start at this point, and at that point. And this one I'm not going to be able to snap, but I'll just leave that right there and just drag something out. I'll make this horizontal from that first sketch using a horizontal constraint. Boom. And make sure that it is also vertical from this one using a vertical constraint. And finally, we'll set our row value because I want the row value for this curve to be equal to the row value for that curve. So we'll set those both to 0.6. That way we know this will be nice and consistent as it wraps around. Go ahead and exit that. And from there, we can go ahead and build our surface. But before we do that, let's talk about how we would do that in SolidWorks 2012 or earlier.